That was open 69. What's
So
number
the
one?
reason we want to know the key of the piece is
Wow.
so that we can use it to warm up. Remember?
Nice. Ooh.
Right?
Ooh, yeah. Ooh. I
And
remember
we
that.
can use it to play, right? The scales and the broken chords and arpeggios associated with that key.
Oh
And
my
it
gosh.
allows our fingers to get familiar, right, with those basic patterns. Because
Ooh.
when we play the piece, a lot of those patterns
Oh my gosh.
appear, right, in the music. So let me find the piece. So let's have you start with the A flat major scale.
Oh yeah. Ooh.
You know how to
Hey,
play that.
yeah. Ooh. Ooh.
Wow, you're very good at that scale.
Wow.
Amazing, right? It was very brisk, right? And very accurate, right?
Wow.
Sometimes when people choose a very fast tempo, they slip, right? Or because they are not quite ready to play that tempo yet, or they haven't played it in a while, they don't remember the fingering. But in this case, it was completely amazing. Okay, can you play the A flat major in thirds?
Wow. And thirds, huh? Ooh yeah. Ooh.
All right, well, it's hard, right? The thirds are much harder because the fingers are so close to one another. Oh, noise. Yep, I got caught in the piano string, so let's play a little slower. Okay, your turn. That's way better, right?
Wow.
Completely way better. So that's the key, right? If we don't play it right, we need to slow down until we get it right. Okay? How about the A flat major in six?
Wow. Ooh, nice. Ooh. Ooh.
Okay,
Wow.
also a little tricky, right? So remember, it's okay just to play it slower first because we also need to make sure that we have the right number, right?
Wow. He got it. Ooh. Ooh. Ooh.
That's way better, right?
Nice.
You play chromatic scale on A flat.
Wow. Dramatic skill. Huh? Ooh. Ooh.
I love that one. Okay. What else do we have?
Nice.
Octaves, right? Right? Octave scale.
Wow.
Amazing, right?
Wow.
And I don't know if you remember the broken chord.
Ooh.
Yes, that's it. Well done, right? So that would be the solid version. What I
Wow.
meant was, do you remember um, that we play uh,
Wow.
cadence, right? After the broken chord and the solid
Nice.
chord. So it's a
Wow.
progression of
Wow.
various chords, and then
Wow.
trying to find the list.
Nice.
You did that in level 10, remember?
Oh
So
my
after you do the broken chord,
god. Yeah.
yes, that's it. Okay. What I mean, good job. Amazing, right?
Wow.
So it physically took me a while to search for that table on my iPad, right? But right
Wow.
as I found it, search it in your brain, right? You can search it on the iPad, but you search your brain library. You go, what's she talking about? Then you remember, right? That is what I mean, right? Amazing,
Wow.
right? Your brain
Amazing.
did it faster than my finger could. Find it on my iPad.
Wow.
Okay, all right.
Dang.
Arpeggio, right? So, oh, sorry, right? The arpeggio is pretty tricky, right? And then first inversion, remember? And then second inversion, right? Your turn.
Yeah. Ooh. There goes. Ooh.
Tricky, yeah.
There goes. Ooh.
Yep. There you go. Okay.
Ooh.
Arpeggios are tricky because
Wow.
you need to tuck that thumb in, right? That
Nice.
whole act of tucking the thumb in is quite hard, right? Now, in order for that to be
Wow. Nice.
easier, you need to have room. Okay, so
Wow.
open your arm,
Ooh.
right, and
Nice.
keep your wrist higher.
Wow.
If your wrist is too small, your thumb just doesn't leave the room.
Ooh. There
Yeah,
goes. There goes.
yep,
Yeah.
yeah. That was better.
Wow.
Okay, all right, that's good warm up. So now let's hear this
Ooh.
beautiful waltz.
Wow. Beautiful.
So beautiful, right?
Ooh, yeah. Ooh. Ooh, that. Ooh, that's it. Ooh.
Good job.
Wow.
Well,
Ooh.
as always, right? This from only hearing it. So it's amazing how much details you picked up.
Wow.
Okay? Very, very amazing.
Very
Like the
amazing.
difference between this chord and this chord. It's such a minute difference, right? It's a dominant seventh chord, but sometimes we have these three notes, and sometimes we have these three notes, right?
Nice.
But you
Ooh.
did hear it, right? You knew which one is which, right? And of course, we play the left hand so much more quieter than the right hand, but you were still able to hear that difference. That's quite
Nice.
amazing.
Ooh.
So this particular waltz, right?
Waltz.
It has such a farewell quality to it, right? So
Well,
kind of like
quality.
a nickname, right? It's almost like saying goodbye, right? But saying goodbye in a very hopeful manner, right? So that's why it's still in a major key, right? So
What?
it's not like saying goodbye forever, right? It's saying goodbye knowing you will meet again, right? So,
Wow.
but still reluctantly, right?
Wow.
Still reluctantly because, yeah, you know you will meet again. So it is a hopeful goodbye. It is not a forever, permanent, never seen each other again goodbye. But it is reluctant. So it's like you need to say goodbye, but you don't want to.
Wow.
Okay. So as you're playing this piece, that reluctance feeling, right, has to come through.
Feeling.
And where does it happen?
Wow.
Well, everywhere where you have what we call the musical sigh.
Musical side. Huh?
Mhm. So what is the musical sigh? This kind of thing.
Ooh.
That's a musical sigh.
Ooh.
You hear it? The musical sigh,
Wow.
basic musical sigh, right, consists of two notes, right? And Mozart, of course, was the founder of the musical sigh, right? And everybody else, of course, elaborates on it, right? But you have to play the first note with
Wow.
such tenuto, right? And then the second note is so light, right? The second note of the musical side, we don't even physically play it. And this is when I tell everybody to think of the seesaw, right? So the second note of the musical side plays itself, right? It plays itself when you lift your wrist, right? So as you lift your wrist, it goes down on its own, kind of like the other end of the seesaw, right? So when one end comes down or up, the other end goes the opposite way, right? So down, up, right? And the musical side is everywhere in this piece, right? So all these things, that's a musical side, right? That's a musical side. That's a musical side. Even this is a musical side. You see? So every time you have the musical side, you have to play it with that feeling of reluctance
Wow.
and making sure that you tenuto the first note, so you're almost lengthening it, right, by a fraction. Okay, so that's the first thing to remember is those musical sides.
Wow.
Okay?
Musical side.
Yep. So
That's
now you know
crazy.
what a musical side is. I'm sure we've used that term before, right? But it is so prominent here that I must remind you again. Then our left hand, of course, is our typical waltz, right? Except it is not typical either, right? Because our typical waltz, remember you played this last week? What did you play? The minute one, right?
Oh my gosh.
Minute waltz, the puppy waltz, right?
Oh.
Right? Right? Something like that, right? That one. So that one is one low note followed by chord, right? Remember that's more of a typical. This one, right? Because it has that farewell quality, our first note does not jump. Okay, so usually the first note is like a very low note, so you jump out of it, and then you play the chord on top, right? So that would be a more typical waltz. This left hand accompaniment, you have to hold on to the bottom note. bit not so typical, right? You gotta hold the note, right? Although in the waltz what we played last week, it has this thing in the middle of the section, right? And then here's a more, right, typical one. But every time you have these low notes that are held, you want to bring it out. Okay? So, and the use of the chromatic harmony, right? A little bit of chromaticism, right, gives us that expressiveness, right? We have a lot of little chromatic things going on. Right? That's a chromatic scale, right? Even the very first three notes. You see, the first three notes is basically a chromatic scale, right? So he's using the chromatic scale to practice earlier, right? In this piece a lot, right? He's using it in the melody. He's using it in the left hand accompaniment. See, right? It's going down the chromatic scale, basically, right? See, it goes back and up, right? And he's using it in the embellishment, right? So the use of chromatic is very, very prominent. Okay. All right. And then, of course, we just have to put it together, right? That's the first sentence. Now remember, feeling of reluctance all the time. Sorry. So beautiful, right?
Nice.
Okay, and then he says, let's play it again because it's too gorgeous, right? We need to hear it again. Right? Sorry. And of course, typical Chopin, right, treatment. Easy, but there are changes, right? First time, da 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 da, it was a triplet, right? That was the first time. This time, da da da, different, right? It's basically eighth note, but with decoration. So this is the second time. Tenuto those notes. This interval, right? How gorgeous is that? And then instead of that, he does the full chromatic, right? So first time, this time, right? And I chose to bring out a different voice there, right? So first time I did, right? Second time, sorry. Do you hear the difference, right? So bringing out the L. Yes. Okay, and that completes the first section. Okay, let's have you play the first section again, please.
Oh yeah. Ooh. What's that? Ooh.
right? Now, pieces like this, right, they really focus on the quality of each note. Okay, so each note has got to be played so beautifully, right, with so much thought, right,
Nice.
and so much attention, right, to the quality of the sound. Okay, then the
Wow.
next section was harder, right?
Wow.
Mostly because of finger choices, right? So you gotta have good finger choices, otherwise you get a little stuck, right?
Wow.
And
Nice.
you did get better, right, in the repeat, but the very first time, because you weren't sure what finger to use, it wasn't easy to find some of the notes, right? So we're talking about this part, right? Especially right here. This is tricky. We gotta practice this by itself first. And it's well, we don't. Let me see. If you turn, it's possible, right? So there's pros and cons. If you don't turn, then it's gonna be 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, right? Now the problem is the 4 and 3. These notes are not so close to each other, right? You almost have to prepare for it, right? So practice this gap, 4, 3. Yeah. Now try both ways. For people who have smaller hands, right? This just will not work. So then, yes, they have to turn, but you need to then practice the turn. If you turn to be 5, 4, 2, 1, 2, right? I think your hand is big enough that you don't need to do the turn version. I think for you, this should be a good version. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Wow.
You gotta practice this weird gap, right? Okay. Now, right? Practice that. I don't even want you to do 5, 1, 4 here. I just want you to use 1, 5. So the octave just use 1, 5. And then lift your hand half fresh. Make from this business to this business, right? This is a group. This is a new group. Okay. So you can even do this. Actually, that is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna jump out of the C. I'm not even going to connect it to the B flat. Why? Because I have pedal, right? So that way I can focus on getting ready for that group, right? So do staccato on this note and just let the pedal do the connecting for you. So now don't do this triplet too fast, right? It's not a ornament, right? So da 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 da. Your turn. It's better, but it doesn't feel light enough, right? This part needs to be more light and airy. Okay, the first part is a little more sentimental, right? The first part is very expressive, very heartfelt. It has a lot of that goodbye. Remember the music side, right? So the first part is about saying goodbye, right? Goodbye, 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 right? This part is not about the goodbye. This part, for me, feels like remembering the good times, right? Remembering the fun times that you've had, right? So you've said your goodbye, now you're reminiscing the happy times. Okay, so it's a little bit more lighthearted. So now remember I said I want octave finger, I don't want stretches, right? Octave, pinky again. A lot more lilt, I guess is what I'm saying, right? A lot more lilt. Remember, it's a waltz. You have to dance. Imagine you dancing, right? So you don't need to legato your way. You don't need to go like this. It's not necessary, right? Right? See, that's actually basically what I'm playing, right? So lots of lifting, right? But we won't hear it because we are still pedaling. But at least you will look more lilt. Okay? You will physically look, right? Like there's more lightness in your steps. Okay? If you don't try to stretch. Stretching is a different feeling, right? Stretching gives the feeling of being extremely expressive, right? Which I'm always expressive when we play Chopin, but what I mean is this section is more light-hearted, right? So, and then we gotta figure this business out, right? So the left hand, we have 3 notes to play. So some people use 5, 2, 1. Some people use 5, 1, 2. Right? I think I like 5, 1, 2 because I really don't like the scale. Now, if your hand is bigger, this might not be such a yep. So you just have to pivot around that second finger. So the second finger, you gotta find, right? And you swing over. Right? You swing your hand over to the D, right? Possible, right? Or for me, 5, 1, 2 is probably better, right? Or if I practice more, I might get used to it, right? Now the left hand, drum, ba bum, bum, ba bum. It has that bum bum rhythm, right? Is that do you hear? Right, the bum bum, the dotted rhythm is very prominent. Okay, so little sentimental there. Oh, it's that interesting or what? So remember, Chopin likes to repeat himself, but he likes to change little things when he repeats. So he says, "Oh, I cannot believe I came up with this amazing idea. I love it so much. I'm gonna do it again, but this time, see, the rhythm is different. It was even 8th note. Now it's 16th note, right? By dotted 8th note. So now it's more like a grace note." Which is why I still like the 1-5 finger better, right? Since this is easily done, right? If you open to 1-4, I think it's just more work than necessary, right? So now play it unevenly. It was now it's right. So that part's the same, but da-dum is faster, right? Back to our chromatic, and then back to the goodbye, right? So you said goodbye, then you reminiscing. You were reminiscing about the fun times, and then you're like, oh, but it is still time to say goodbye, right? So you thought about all the good times you've had, and then back to reality, you still have to say goodbye, right? Okay, so
Wow.
let's have you play the section.
Woohoo! Yeah, woohoo!
a harder section, right?
Wow.
So we solved a little bit of the problems with those dum ba dum bum bum, right?
Wow.
Your left hand rhythm, right? We need to get that da da, right? A little bit more light. Yeah. And this is tricky to do, right? Now again, you can jump out of it, right? Bum, 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 bum. Yeah, free up your hand, right? So let's practice da da bum, 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 right? So make those da da lighter. Yes, lighter, not so loud. Yes, but the speed is better, the rhythm is better. That's it. And we really want to teach people the difference. So make sure you clearly show which one is, and then which one is. Do you see? One of them is faster, right? Now they are both on the beat, so on the beat, right? Still on the beat. Yes, and always use 1/5. Okay. Hey, this is another version, right? So remember I said you could jump out of the C, right? So once you jump out of the C, a better fingering, actually, now that I think about it, 5 again, 5, 4, 2, 1, right? So jump out of the C and then just simply go to pinky again. Yeah, that's even easier, right? Okay, so let me get a job for you as well, right? Oh, sorry. And then second time. Back to the goodbye. Sorry, gotta get that right. And then you repeat it again, of course. Right? So overall, this section is faster. Okay, so it has more liveliness to it, more lilt, right? So it doesn't want to drag. Okay,
Wow.
so make sure that we kind of keep it moving a bit. All right, then let's do the new section, right? Oh, sorry. So again, a lot of tenuto. And the left hand goes. So it's only single notes, right? Left hand only has single notes. It's not too hard, right? But you can hold on to your thumb. So you tenuto that note basically. Slightly emphasize that second note. Slightly emphasize it, right? Sorry, this one, right? So sometimes it goes to G, sometimes it goes to B flat, right?
Wow.
Okay, well, you
Wow.
could play it this way. So with a lilt on the second beat, right? So tenuto with a lilt, right? With a lilt. And if you do the lilt, you do 1, 2, and then 3, 5, right? So you do 3, 5 on here, and then you come up, and then you start fresh. Yep, but you gotta be lighter, right? Remember the lilt is light, not accents. So light, 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 and then basically repeat ourselves. Okay.
Nice. Ooh.
Lighter on the left. Yes. Good. And then we have new material again. So again, all these new materials is a bit like thinking about, right, all the experiences you've had. Some of them were very light-hearted. This is a more dramatic experience, right?
Right.
Right? So something a little bit more dramatic, right? And then back to the lilt. And then more dramatic again. And back to the lilt. And then that's it. Still back to reality. Time to say goodbye again. Okay, so let's have you do the dramatic part now.
Nice. Ooh, yeah. Yeah, ooh.
Very, very nice, right?
Wow.
So this is the final version, right? So see what he did, right? The
Wow.
final goodbye, right? We know it's the final one and there is no more. How?
Nice.
Because of this, right? Because of that, right? Because all were chromatic scale, right? So only one that has an arpeggio, right? Remember the arpeggio? Right, so this is basically a diminished how we know this is the final one, right? But again, that lilt is important. What do I mean by lilt? Come up, right? Don't stay on the note. So come up, right? And because of the fact that we are indeed final version right? I changed my mind about this business, right? Let's save that for this last time, right? So in all the previous versions, let's not bring out that alto voice. So let's keep doing that until this final version. This final version, right? My mistake, sorry. So save this for this final. Yes, exactly, right? So you've said goodbye many times, right? And in between each goodbye, you it's like, oh, let's talk about what we did. Oh, we did that. That was so fun, right?
It's
And
so
then you
fun.
gotta say goodbye, and then you go, oh, but let's remember the time we went to do this, and it was so dramatic, it was so exciting, right? So this was the exciting one, right? It's like, right, something really,
Wow.
like a celebration of some sort, right? It was a big event, right, of some sort. Okay.
Wow.
The big event. And then, like I said, eventually it's time to say goodbye again. So this very last one, right? Make the most of it. Right, sorry, my mistake. Now this is not a triplet. Right? Right? Even how you play this. Right? You can play this so beautifully, right? In many different ways.
Wow.
It can be overly expressive, or it can be kind of innocent. Right? And it's right. It can be beautiful in so many different ways, and then right? That's the one that's like it's different, right? So how do you play this? Right? Got to practice it, right? See the so reluctant, right? But it is still ultimately a hopeful goodbye, right?
Wow.
Knowing that you will meet again. Okay, so let's play this final version again.
There it goes. Woohoo. That's it. Woohoo.
How sensitive was that ending? That was
Wow.
incredibly heartfelt, right? Incredibly sensitive. So you see, this is another
Nice.
good example of how masterful Chopin was, right? In terms of embellishments, right? He can have a melody that's the most beautiful melody there
Wow.
possibly could ever be, and then he would find ways to embellish the melody, right? And make it even more beautiful. It's like, right? It melts your heart, right? Now, make sure you right practice that so we can exactly flawless, right? Because that's just can't afford to miss these later. Exactly, right?
Wow. Nice.
Okay, well done, Kodi, right?
Well done.
I hope you enjoyed, right, playing this piece.
Oh
So
my
next week,
gosh.
right, let's put all the three waltzes together. So we
Wow.
learn something new almost each week. Isn't that great?
That was good.
In the last month or so, now we've learned three walls, right? The
Wow.
Opus 64, number one and number two,
Oh
Opus
my
60,
gosh.
one, right? So I want to make sure that you haven't forgotten the other two, okay?
Dang.
So do a review on those two plus this one.
Oh my
And
gosh.
if you have time, right? I know you're busy. Also,
Dang.
what else did we do? We did a whole bunch of nocturnes, right?
Oh my gosh. What the
Did
heck?
number Opus 9, number one and number two, and we did
So
F9 number one, right?
dang.
So I
What the
believe
heck?
three nocturnes we've done, right? So
Oh my
review those
gosh.
three nocturnes as well. I have a feeling we didn't really finish this one,
Wow.
right?
Wow.
Oh, sorry, I don't remember the note, right? I have a feeling we didn't quite completely finish that one, so perhaps we'll also just wrap that up as well. Okay?
Wow.
Three
Woohoo.
nocturnes and three waltzes.
That's good, huh?
Okay? For
Woohoo.
next week. Okay?
All right.
All
Woohoo.
right. Good job, and I'll see you next time.
Woohoo. Bye bye.
Bye. Have a good rest of the week.
Thank you too.
Bye.
Bye bye.